Yeah, I think Jennifer indicated that she wasn't going to be able to be here
That's
tonight.
our starter chair.
Thank you. Either, and I don't think we necessarily have to have a long meeting. I mean, we've been working on this report on the militarized equipment for 2024 from the department. I think we've had at least three meetings about it, and we've worked through a number of issues in regards to it. I want to, in the next few days, get out another final report, which would include the references that you had included, Commissioner Farmer, so that everybody would have that. And then we're set to go before the October the 9th commission meeting. I think the one outstanding point that we've gone around and around and around is not approving the Bearcat continuation of the use of the Bearcat or replacement of the Bearcat with another um, Bearcat, but to look at um, a different vehicle that might meet the needs of the department. I have not received any particular comments from the chief in regards to this. The department has participated in our meetings, and we're very grateful for that, but we've not received any comments from the chief. Um, I don't know if there's anything else that we need to spend time with today. John, did you have some questions that you had raised with Ms. Montgomery earlier today that you might want to bring up?
Yeah, well, there's two things. One is I understand that Jennifer made some suggestions to partly to address Mr. Geitz's comments about the letter and some other things that came up that were critical of the ad hoc's letter. And I think she made some suggestions about how to address those in the text. She shared a copy that she sent, I think, to you, Chair Riles, on September 2nd. And I don't know if there's a revised version of the letter.
There's
Um,
not yet a revised version.
okay. Um, is there, what is the intent about the process for the letter itself? Are you, as commissioners on this ad hoc, sort of continuing an editing process that you will then submit to the full commission, or is that going to come back to this group, or what's the process?
I think that it's would be between the three commissioners to make any decision around that. And I will take into account Jennifer's
Mm-hmm.
comments that she had written. And you had previously made contributions
Uh-huh.
also that we have included
Okay.
in the document.
Okay. Well, the other thing that I raised earlier today is that, I was not present in the last meeting, but as I understand it, the department is saying that the number of assault rifles acquired will be the same number as the number of assault rifles that are have outlived their life. The written report that is before the ad hoc and is before the police commission does not say that. It doesn't say that any rifles will be decommissioned, and it doesn't reduce the number of rifles to be acquired. So if that's the intention, it would be important for that to be in writing because the commission, this ad hoc and the commission are acting on a written report, right? And
Right. I'll put that in my report. Go ahead,
Okay,
Captain Perez.
one sec. Mr. No has had his hand up first, then Mr. Perez.
Okay. Mhm.
Mr. No?
provided extensive
Can
comment to
you start
the.
over? We missed part of what you said. Sorry, I mean to interrupt you.
Sure. I also provided extensive comment to the ad hoc letter that was proposed. And and I think there should be citizen participation and incorporation to make that letter reflective of the broader community. So how is that also, I also provided an alternate letter that I submitted to everybody. Is that also going to be discussed? What are we doing about that? There was actually a lot of.
That will be discussed with the three commissioners. All of the submissions that we received from interested parties will be discussed by the three commissioners when we finalize the report. Um, I don't know, Omar, whether you got to see the writings of Mr. Omar. Did you sent that to the whole ad hoc, as I remember, to
That's
everyone?
correct.
Yeah, so I think
So
he,
everybody should have had a chance to see it. Should
right.
that go to the entire police commission for consideration? I mean, we did spend a lot of time and there was a lot of consensus from the last meeting. I know that a lot of people weren't able to make it. I know I just got the Zoom link. So a lot of people, and oftentimes we have canceled meetings. So it was unclear to me how much time I should set, especially if my schedule is busy when we do, like in the past, have canceled numerous times. And I do make an effort to show up, as I'm sure other people do.
Mr.
Yeah, that is greatly appreciated.
Could
That is
you
definitely.
Hold on, Mr. Lindsay Pullen. Are you done, Mr. No? Are you done responding to him, Chair Rouse?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, well, do you want to respond really quickly, then Captain Perez, Mr. Lindsay Pullen?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask if you could share what you wrote with the rest of with the community members, with the panel members as well, because I haven't seen it unless I missed it. I don't-
I
If you
believe
just
it went to
resend
you
it.
as well. It was on the whole, it replied to everybody. We have a group email.
Yeah, I think it was sent to the whole group.
I'll look for it and try to send it to you, Mr. Lindsay Pullen. Thank you, Mr. No. Captain Perez.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Form. Just for Mr. Lindsay's, just to update him on that. When we submitted the report, the number of rifles, I believe, was a little bit higher and the price was higher. But obviously, we have had multiple meetings and under this setting, and we talked about the rifles. I believe we agree on the consensus of the what we want as a department is replace the current 70 rifles that we have in the PRO program. And I have a quote. For those rifles. We do intend to use LC Action because they're one of the qualified dealers that we have a contract with. They are licensed, and as you guys know, Kima did a lot of research to ensure that it was a qualified vendor with no penalties under their FFL license. So right now, ballpark, and I'll if you guys would, if this ad hoc committee would want to, I can submit the last quote that we received. I just want to make sure that you guys keep in mind that these quotes change by month. Every month is a different price because that's how, I'm not sure why the vendors work that way. But in total, I believe the original report mentioned something over the amount of like $400,000 or $500,000. With this quote that we have right now as it stands, it's $217,000, 637 $217,637.99. That includes a $27,300 credit for the rifles that they're going to be taking back, which means they're going to be paying us, giving us credit for $390 per rifle. And that totals an amount of that they will give the department of 27,300. I know a lot of questions came up of what they did with the rifles. I think Kima again answer those questions as to what they do with them. So that's what our intent is. Obviously, we still have to present all this information and get it approved through the proper channels. Again, the money will not come out of the general fund. It will come out of the asset forfeiture money. So that was for Mr. Lindsay. I hope that answers your question. And then One more thing, a request that I have, if possible, when this committee has a final revision of that letter, if it's okay, if we get a copy so I could give it to my chief of police so he can have the ability to answer any questions when we go in October. Um, he had been, obviously, he was out for a while. I don't know if he ever received the original draft or not, but if you guys are okay, I can submit the original draft you guys submitted earlier and give him that, or you want me to wait for your final version?
Why don't you wait for the final version, and I'll try to get that to you in the next couple of days, and you
Sounds
can
good.
get that directly to him.
Thank you.
Okay, and I just have a quick comment on. Thank you, Mr. Press, for bringing up the rifles because uh, I was contacted and it was expressed to me that LC Action did have some either current or previous ATF violations, which apparently would disqualify them from being used as an approved vendor in accordance with the firearms and ammunition procurement and disposal ordinance. What are your thoughts on that? Are you aware of that?
So, I was not aware of that, and when Kima contacted them or
Mhm,
did her research, she did not find anything. I can tell you this though, this department has dealt with LC action not only for our service weapons, but when officers want to buy firearms, they have to obtain letters from the chief of police, and they do that periodically. And we have not heard any issues
mhm,
with any of that. We do have ATF with us. We do have a what we call a task force officer assigned to them,
mhm.
and I can contact him. But if they had any issues, I think we would have been made aware of this already because
Because
obviously we do have a contract with them, right? And that would create some type of conflict. I'm not sure where the information is coming from, but I can double check with you for you guys and come and get a report back.
okay, and I'll try and track down some documentation on my end and share it with you so that we can get on the same page about it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Acting Lieutenant Gonzalez.
Hi, everybody. And Mr. Farmer, you said you were contacted by somebody. Like,
Hmm.
who was
Yeah,
that?
I was contacted by some members from the community about that.
Okay.
Yeah, the from the
Is this a
I
reliable
forget
source or
no, I forget
I
the
don't.
name. I don't know if they're like with an official group or anything, but they reached
So
out. They reached
the
out to me.
ordinance, the ordinance.
Hold on, Mr. Lindsay Paul. They reached out to me, and that's what they shared, and they shared the ordinance with me. So I'm just sharing it with everybody. I'll
All right.
disclose the information to you, so I have no problem doing that. I just wanted to bring it to your attention, give you a heads up.
All right. We'll obviously look into it. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Lindsay Paul.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting before. Um, the ordinance was advocated by the gun violence prevention organization Brady, and Brady obtained ATF data nationally on firearms dealers that have violations, have different letters of them, inspection letters. And so I believe it was that data that Brady presented when the ordinance was originally passed by the council. And and as I understand it, Brady is trying to get updated information from ATF. The person who from ATF who is in your task force may or may not be in the inspection division with that type of information. But that's responsive, I think, to your question.
Thank you for that. There are no more hands up at this time, Chair Rouse.
Okay, so we do have a scheduled meeting on October the 7th, which is a couple of days before the commission meeting, but it's really too late to do anything because the commission agenda will already be out, including the backup materials that go to it. So I wasn't particularly thinking that the ad hoc would meet on October the 7th. Essentially, we would send out from this meeting what would be considered the final document that would go to the commission meeting for October the 9th. Does anybody think that that we should do otherwise?
So our next meeting after this is going to be on the 30th. Um, and then,
Well, yeah, that's the third one. That would be the third one this month.
okay, Mr. Lindsey Pullen.
Well, it does make sense to me that a meeting 2 days before the full commission meeting probably wouldn't be able to do a lot. I do have a question about the status of the Bearcat request. As I understand it, like in the last meeting, people were in consensus to put that aside for now. Um, I'm not sure what that means in terms of the annual report that the department has presented, which includes information, includes a documentation that new Bearcats will be solicited. So is that, I guess I'm just a little confused about the relationship between that piece of the report and the idea of putting it aside, right? Because it's the report that goes to the commission and then goes to the full council. So um, if that is put aside, is there an addendum to the report that says, okay, we're still looking at this, or what is the status of it so that it's clear when it gets to the full commission and to the council what this ad hoc has recommended in terms of its sort of putting it on hold.
Yep.
Officer Perez can follow me, but my understanding is that in our letter, if the commission approves it, then it would be a disapproval of the Bearcat or replacing the Bearcat. It doesn't disprove the department for looking for other vehicles to meet the needs of the department. So if the department were going to do that, then they would have to come before the commission with a source of funds and where they saw acquiring those particular vehicles. Is that right, Officer Perez?
Yeah, so I think there's two things right here. Mr. Lindsay, when we submitted the report, it talks about the Bearcat, and then there's a portion where it asks the department try to forecast future equipment, and one of them obviously is the alternative to the current Bearcat, right? As you guys know, the Bearcat is more than 20 years old. However, it's still working. I know that there have been many discussions on this. I think we reached an impasse when it comes to that, but the report is going to stay the same. If this committee says we don't want the department to acquire a new Bearcat or the alternative, then we'll go status quo. The Bearcat will stay in line or function until it breaks or something changes. Even if we were to get approved, we don't have money. A Bearcat is super expensive. I think Kima brought this up. Give the current situation with what they consider sanctuary cities. I don't think we're getting any federal grants when it comes to militarized equipment. I know there's been a lot of discussion on this. I mean, I know some commissioners are pro, some of them are against, but I think at this point we're just going to leave it as it is. Uh, this body will make their decision, but even whatever the outcome is, the Bearcat doesn't mean that the Bearcat is going to be taken out of line because it's something that obviously is needed.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really just asking about the proposal to acquire new vehicles. So thank you.
Okay. And Mr. No also put his feelings on this subject in the chat. Thank you, Mr. No. Oh, your hand is up. Go, Mr. No.
Um, I'm a little worried about the need for proper equipment. For example, if we have a school shooting and we have hostages and kids, how do we make sure that we have the proper equipment like the Bearcat to safely be able to handle that emergency situation? I mean, it's concerning to me that because I believe I talked to a police captain in San Jose. I followed up, and he said that they have a couple of Bearcats. They also have a much heftier vehicle to handle these situations. We also have sideshows where people are throwing Molotov cocktails to light vehicles on fire, and we need a vehicle that's fire resistant. And my understanding is the civilian SUVs that are considered to be souped up for these purposes aren't fire resistant. They're not ballistic resistant. The Mercedes that are tall, they're likely to tip over. They can't handle curbs. So given this, the challenges that our community is facing with sideshows, breaking them up, we used to have 45 officers responding to a sideshow to break up a large crowd. Now we have 15 officers. That means we need to compensate for severe staff shortage with more equipment. And I'm concerned that there isn't enough tools to respond to emergency community situations. What is being done to make sure that we are safe?
Thank you, Mr. No.
Yeah, I think, Ms. Snow, I would encourage you to make that point to the commission. Obviously, you don't agree with the direction that the two of the three commissioners are moving on this issue, and that's essentially an opportunity to present your point of view to the commission meeting on October the 9th.
Any other thoughts on this? Okay, I see no other hands up, Chair Rouse.
Okay, I really want to thank you all for your participation and your serious engagement with this issue. And I hope you continue to be engaged both with the commission and with the Public Safety Committee of the City Council, who will be making some of the final decisions around the funds and the movement forward on the needs of the department and this set of tools from for the department.
All right, Mr. No has his hand up again. Go, sir.
I was
Go ahead.
I was also, I was there speaking with the victims and some of the people that have been impacted by the jewelry store robberies in the last week. There were a string of robberies. The families of the victims sent me the video. I don't know if you guys saw of the robberies in San Jose. Uh, and so I was there talking with the families, and they actually are part of a merchant association, a larger association that span a large area. And some of those uh, folks that assaulted that store went ahead and robbed Milpitas. The investigator was able to identify it was the same group. Was a smaller group in Milpitas. There's questions whether or not it's the same group that was armed and robbed the pawn shop in Oakland, because there was about 20 or so individuals. A smaller group went to Milpitas and they're not armed, but the armed portion might have gone to Oakland. And subsequent to that, there was another jewelry store robbery on Sunday. Astor Jewelers. So all of these situations, there was this horrific situation where owners were forced to feel like they either need to arm themselves and defend themselves, or they told me that they spent decades building up their business, and when these robberies happen, it could be taken away from them in like 5 minutes. And this 88-year-old senior was very violently pushed to the floor. He suffered a stroke, but afterwards it was determined he also suffered a heart attack. And they were fortunately able to get him quick medical attention. But given that the criminals are arming themselves up, and when Pamela Price took away gun enhancements, when you rob a store and you could kill someone with a deadly weapon, there's normally enhanced charges, and there was policy guidelines that was issued to the prosecutor. And I've talked to prosecutors and been in contact with some of the union members, prosecutor union members. That resulted in the street value of guns being $350, and it kept declining. So the police are overwhelmed and not responding to these robberies. People on the streets, the merchants are arming up, and the thieves are also arming up. How my concern is, you guys in the OPD had asked for about 75, rifles. That's a upward shift of 5 rifles from the 70 that you kind of went down to. Are you having enough equipment to compensate for the severe staffing shortage to respond to these emergency situations? Or have we gotten to the point where civilians have to arm themselves, and we had a shooting death, two shooting deaths in Oakland last week, and we had 3 injuries, the folks that robbed, but also the store employees were also, you know, in the line of fire, and one of them was also injured. What are you doing to deter crime if you're not out there in enough numbers and have enough equipment to be able to provide public safety? And are we okay with our officers not having the equipment they need? It seems like reckless to allow this to continue within Oakland.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate your point of view, sir, very much. We've got a serious problem in that the clearance rate for the Oakland Police Department is 1.6%, which speaks to the fact that the community does not trust its police department. There's a long history of incidents as to why the department is not being trusted. We're trying to shape a department that can be trusted, and we want to find ways to do that. The programs that have been initiated that have built trust actually have a very strong record of reducing crime in Oakland, a much stronger record than just having more guns or a more armored vehicle. And I think that you say you want to look at data. Those programs are actually required to produce data that shows that they make a difference. And for myself as a commissioner, I think that this is an arena, an area that I hope we can get more resources and attention to and help to knit our department closer to a community to work together to make a difference. And of course, our department needs to work with other departments in the area to deal with folks who are moving from one community to another. And we want that to happen, but we don't want it to happen in a way which damages the relationship between the community of Oakland and our police department.
Mr. No, would you like to respond, or you see your hand up?
Yes. So when we don't have enough staffing to investigate crime, that does not help us solve murders. It does not help us solve robberies. It does not help us solve stolen vehicles. It doesn't help us solve home invasions. We are severely understaffed for the amount of crime. We have over 3,000 911 calls, and we make those calls, and I'm involved in the community. in my community, holding block parties and whatnot. And I hear from my neighbors, we are severely understaffed. We cannot solve crime when there's nobody. This last week, I believe we abolished the department that for traffic violations, and a lot of those criminals are stealing vehicles that are used to commit other crimes, or running red lights. They don't care if the cars get into accidents because they'll just rob another one. So how can you expect, in all honesty, for us to solve crime when we are severely understaffed and use that statistic to mislead people? That's unacceptable. In science, we are peer review. And when you say something like that, like the letter that you wrote, that was heavily flawed. So it's not acceptable when other people like me, who normally have other things to do, to look under the hood and it doesn't look good what we're doing to public safety. We are the laughing stock of the nation in public safety. And we've had you guys on this for a long time. There's huge frustration within the community. This might be an echo chamber of yourselves talking to yourselves, but it doesn't reflect the broader community that decided that public safety is the number one priority. Where do you fit in if you're not listening to what is happening in our community?
All right, we hear you. Thank you, Captain Perez. Then Mr. Lindsey Poland.
Yeah, just want to say a couple of things. Just Commissioner Rouse, that information you provided of 1.6 clearance in crime, I'll challenge that statistic because I go to crime meetings every Monday, and that is way off to what the clearance rate is. If you're talking about a specific crime or general crime at all, our crime is down compared to last year, but that doesn't mean that we have less. We have less crime than did last year, but that doesn't mean that crime is not in our cities. We still are dealing with a lot of challenge, like Mr. Tuan was saying on these robberies. These robberies are trending right now. It's a trend that's going on because it's a very profitable um, act to do to rush into a jewelry store and take hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Not only Oakland's being affected, but cities throughout the Bay Area, if you guys follow the news. When it comes to the to the rifles and manpower, you're right. Unfortunately, we're in a crisis right now when it comes to staffing. This is the lowest we've ever been in OPD history, and Lieutenant Gonzalez can attest to this. Uh, our numbers right now, I believe we're in the 600s. However, out of those 600, we have like 130 that are either medical or admin leave, which means they're not in the street being police officers. So we're dealing with a very serious emergency when it comes to staffing. I think the rifles that we're requesting, the 70, the 5, more or less, are not going to make a huge difference. I think what the difference is going to be is ensuring that the 70 people that get those rifles get the proper training because it is going to require a lot of training. And I'd rather have that than, than start cutting corners when it comes to providing training. But yeah, Mr. Commissioner Riles, I would want to see that information because that's I mean, our stats are not even close to what I have.
I appreciate that, and I don't think necessarily that I think this argument, this discussion needs to be had in the wider community, but those are your numbers, sir. Those are the numbers that the department reported to the State Department of Justice. I didn't come up with those numbers myself. If you look at the website for the State Department of Justice, those are the numbers that the Oakland Police Department reports on their clearance rate. They're not my numbers.
All right, thank you, Chair Rouse. And then just on that point of crime, I know that, and then I'll get to you, Mr. Lindsey Poland. Not only is crime down from last year, according to OPD's crime statistics, but last year they were down from the year before. So I see a continuous decline in crime. But Mr. Lindsey Poland, you had your hand up?
No, I just hope that we can focus on the task before us, which is not to litigate every single public safety issue in Oakland. This particular ad hoc is focused on equipment, and there's a local ordinance, there's a state law. We have members of the department here, we have members of the commission here, we have members of the community here, and that's the task of this ad hoc. So I find that the back and forth is it's frustrating because this is not the location where those large
Right.
issues can be resolved.
Yeah.
Um, so that's just all I was going to say. I'm looking up the Cal DOJ statistics, and if I find them, I will raise my hand again.
All right. Really quickly, Mr. No.
I think these issues are very important community issues of having safety, which is that we are in a crisis. What's going on? I understand from talking to, I don't know how many times you have rallied and talked to merchants and small business that have been impacted, but I've been talking to them almost every week for the last 2, 3 years because I've been there, and you guys might have seen us on TV talking to people, and on the ground, people are saying they're not reporting these crimes because they feel like their insurance is going to get canceled, their premium is going to go up 3 or 4 times, that there's potential for retaliation in the Asian community. We don't tend to speak up. We also don't want customers to be fearful and stay away from more businesses. Chinatown is dead after 2 or 3, unlike before when it's still vibrant at 9 and restaurants are open to 2 in the morning. So, we are feeling the impact of crime. And when there's less businesses and thousands have gone out of business, there's less revenue that the city, sales tax revenue that the city needs to provide essential services and staffing to other departments. And the police commission itself knows that there's staffing shortages that impact its work, as well. So this is all relevant, and to dismiss our our community voice, to say, oh, you're not the deciding member because you're not a part of the police commission selected by this panel, then you don't have as much of a relevant say when I'm on the ground along with other people talking to small businesses that are impacted by crime literally almost every single week.
All right. Thank you, Mr. No. Mr. Lindsey Pullen.
Yes, I'm going to try to share my screen. So for Captain Pettis and Chair Riles, this is the California Department of Justice open data site. This is for Oakland. This is crimes and clearance rates for 2024. It's a range. So you've got 0.1%, these are percentages, for burglary, up to 50.6% for homicide. So it's a range. Arson 1.8%, violent crimes 9.6%, forcible rape 8%, overall property crimes 0.1%. So that's I'll put the link to this in the chat.
All right. Thank you very much. And like you said, I don't think we should try to litigate everything related to public safety here, but that is very helpful reference. Thank you for that. Um, Lieutenant Daza Quiroz or Acting Lieutenant Gonzalez, do you have any thoughts on the conversation that we're having? DQ or Gonzalez? If not, no worries.
No, I mean, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, no, it's great. No, I do agree with Mr. No. You guys are in an echo chamber, and you need to get out of your echo chamber and start considering crime and the citizens of Oakland.
Thank you very much. And Lieutenant DQ, did you say something? Maybe try to say something.
No, I said I'm enjoying this conversation.
Thank you very much. And Commissioner Dawitt is also just joined us. Thank you for joining us, Commissioner Dawitt. Mr. No, you have another comment, sir?
I don't understand how we can quote property crime solve rate when we have a policy that does not allow us to chase criminals for property crimes. When those jewelry stores were broken into, if they didn't show a weapon and they run out with gold and diamond in their hand and in their bags, and we can't chase after that, how do we solve that crime and catch the criminal and deter further crime and violence and negative impact on these families that have been devastated when we have policies like that? We have policies that prevent us from catching criminals chasing after property crime, and we're quoting statistics based on failed policy guidelines that prevent us from chasing the criminals and solving these crimes. How does that work out?
I don't know, but that's not something that we're gonna solve with ad hoc, at least not tonight, that's for sure. But thank you for your thoughts and your feelings on that and all your other thoughts. Everything that you put in the chat, Mr. No was thoughtful enough to put a lot of his thoughts in the chat as well. So please make sure you get a chance to review that information. Thank you for that. Um, any other thoughts? I don't see any hands up right now, but any other thoughts or feelings from anyone? Chair Riles, anyone. I know you just joined us, Commissioner Dawitt. Thank you for being here. But does anyone else have any potential final thoughts? All right. Chair Riles, is there anything else that you would like to discuss tonight, or how would you like to proceed?
No, I think we have a plan, and within the next couple of days, you'll be receiving a final draft, and um, the three commissioners will have together decided on what's in that final draft that you'll receive, and it will also have the references that we have available for a lot of the uh, decisions that are involved in that document.
Okay.
And we look forward to your participating in the October the 9th commission, and maybe we can get our friend, Mr. Go, to run again for city council or for mayor or something, because he's obviously is very interested in making a contribution to our community, and it's very welcomed.
All right. Okay. Final thought, Mr. No, very quickly.
I have just to clear the record, I have not run for mayor or city council. I just got involved. I never had ambition to be in front of the public eye. I just got involved because things have gotten so bad in Oakland, and a lot of people who have been showing up to our events, also of volunteers in the community who show up because they care and they're contributing their time. So appreciate everybody, appreciate you guys. I hope there's also disclosure for people who have money interests, because a lot of our failed policy because people work for organizations that have conflict of interest and get money from certain policies, and that corruption at City Hall needs to end.
Okay. Thank you very much. If there are no other final thoughts, Mr. No will have the final word. Thank you all for joining us. Um, and we will see you at the next meeting. Have a good night.
Thank you, Commissioner Farmer.
Thank you. I look
Thanks,
forward
everybody.
to receiving that final version of the letter. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Captain
you.
Perez. Good
Thank you,
night.
everybody. Have a great night.
You as well.